Hello, everyone. I'm Kurt Roth, and this is the 505 Sports Venture Foundation program. We come to you somewhat every week to discuss UNM athletics, name, image, and likeness, and basically what's ever going on in the sports and business world that impact Albuquerque, New Mexico, and the University of New Mexico. So we've got a lot of stuff going on right now. We have one of our favorite guests is here, and we're going to get to that in a little bit. But I just want to take this moment. Oh, first I want to thank my producer, Adrian from the City of Angels. We'll get back to him in a minute when we open up with some current events. And then for doing a great job every week, keeping this show on the hooks and making us actually come across semi-professional at times. Also, I want to thank Steve Davis, who sits up front in the big chair here at ProView Network, that gives us this opportunity to come to you and talk about whatever we decide to talk about that given week. So we are here in the ProView studios, high above Central Avenue in beautiful downtown Albuquerque. So before we get to our first guest, I just want to remind everyone, we all know about the change in college athletics, and the landscape seems to be moving left and right every day. One thing that doesn't change is the University of New Mexico needs your help. It's basically a funding race to compete with the top schools in the current Mountain West and the new Mountain West. So 505 SVF exists just to supplement that effort to fund UNM athletics. So please, 505sports.org, check it out. There is no such thing as too small a donation. Again, 505sports.org. All right, we're going to take a short break, sell you some stuff, and we'll be right back with our special guest. Stay with us.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. I'm Kurt Roth, and this is the 505 Sports Venture Program. We're going to get to our special guest and talk about a couple of topics that are really happening here in Albuquerque and at UNM. But first, I have to pay a little kudos to, I mentioned my producer, Adrian Hernandez, big Dodger fan. He reminded me that he was a Dodger fan last night, right after the Dodgers had smoked Cincinnati and a couple hours after the Red Sox had beaten the Yankees. And my buddy Alex Bregman put the knife in our back in the ninth inning. But I want to share with you, if Adrian, you can put that up, a little baseball history. There you go. There it is. So may you rest in peace, Pete Rose, one of the greatest all-time baseball players, one of the worst, apparently, gamblers of all time. He's in the Gamblers Hall of Fame, and one day I think we're going to see him in the Baseball Hall of Fame. But all right, Adrian, you had your fill. Enough. Thank you for sharing that with us and the audience. All right, special guest, our good friend Rob Portnoy, voice of the Lobos. How you doing?
It's great to be with you, Kurt. I thought he only bet on his own team.
Well, he's now. He learned. So he was watching from up above, and he said the Dodgers are going to win it. So he bet on the Dodgers. He probably went on a roll last year betting against the Yankees, and now he's very confident. But thank you, Adrian, for sharing that. I can't wait to see what I get tonight when I fear that the Yankee season will end on a bloop single or some error they make or some base running blunder. Anyway,
It was
Rob,
death by 1,000 cuts. It was.
bases loaded, no outs, and you don't score a run with the meat of the fifth hitter, one of the best clutch hitters in baseball, Giancarlo Stanton. All right, we're going to stop. We're going to stop talking about the Yankees. Dodgers, reigning world champions. Thanks, Adrian. All right, Rob, how you doing?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I'm great. Well, we've got a very interesting time. We've got all that baseball. If you're a baseball fan, yesterday you could have watched 11 hours of first 3 games were great. So good for baseball. But we're going to start out with Lobo football. I mean, pretty impressive so far.
I've never seen it better. And I've talked to some old school Lobos alumni, boosters, fans. They say that they've never seen the buzz around the program like it is right now.
Well, there's a couple of reasons I think for that. One, the simple one, is they're winning, and they're winning with some style. Both home games, they were down in the second half against clearly a lesser team. My opinion is instead of panicking and getting digger a deeper hole, they took care of business, and decisively in both times, to the extent that they're throwing trick play touchdown passes. So that's one. All right, right? Am I wrong? I mean, that's football.
15 straight against Idaho State in the fourth, and a 24-3 second half blitz against New Mexico State, to your point.
Right, okay. Point number 2, that one thing we've never seen with Lobo football is the extent of social media. Like if you were a Rocky Long fan, you didn't have Twitter, and if you wanted to meet and talk about Lobo football, you either had to do it at the game or a website I took over, the Lobo Lair. That was like where you could commute and talk to other Lobo fans. Now, the players have their Twitter, the parents have their Instagram, Twitter. You get instant highlights. You get information. So when things are good, that stokes the interest. And, you know, you'll be at practice or whatever, and you're online sending pictures.
You hit the nail on the head. That sellout crowd, first since 2007, it didn't just happen because the Lobos won a couple of games in their first 3 to get to 2-1. It started before the season began, and it started on social media. It started with the buzz that was created with the Office skit. It started with the reveal of the turquoise jerseys. The whole plan, it's the leadership. The leadership is young and vibrant with new, fresh ideas, and they get today's consumer. And the Lobos have been knocking it out of the park since way back in the summer.
Well, we do get that. There's no doubt. Young staff, media savvy. Casey and his crew are just doing an incredible job. Kudos to Fern for putting that in place. But.
Still got to win.
And you got to have a lead actor.
And the dynamic head coach is that guy.
And I have never seen. I've been at UNM 53 years. I started with a guy who I would have loved to seen social media, Stormin' Norman Ellenberger. Now, guys who go back, old timers who go back to that era, this guy would have been just incredible. The look, the style, the pizzazz. I mean, his social media was a corner table at Ned's. So we can't compare. But Eck, Coach Eck, is just incredible. Not only because he's into it, but if you talk to him as much as anyone, more than me. I'm in touch with him quite regularly. That's who he is. There's no act. That guy has embraced New Mexico and the culture here. And his energy and his enthusiasm and his just grit is perfect.
Charisma, too. He's got it all. And you're absolutely right. Without the leading man, it doesn't happen. He is engaged with the fan base in a way that I can't remember ever happening before. The Lobo fan base loved Richard Pitino, his wit, his sarcasm. That was something that they really could wrap their arms around. but this guy feels like the guy that's literally sitting down next to you, having a beer with you, watching a game, and I've never seen that before.
Well, that's true. I don't have a beer, like one of those zero things, but I have sat down in my home with Coach Eck and shared a diet soda. He had a beer and some birthday cake, and he's really that dude. I also think it's funny you mentioned Richard Pitino. Richard Pitino was the steward of the valuable, loved program at UNM, and he was good when he was on camera, but you had to pull teeth to get him on camera. All right, now we've given that Richard. I'll give you a little shot. How's Cincinnati? We're going to take a break. We're going to come back and really talk Lobo football. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Okay, welcome back. We're here for part 2 of today's 505 Sports Venture Program. Voice of the Lobos, Rob Portnoy is our guest. And one more thing, I said we'd get to Lobo football just to appease my buddy behind the glass. Are the Dodgers going to win it all?
The next round is going to be a different animal when they get to Philly, but right now it's the varsity against the freshman team playing against the Reds.
Right,
They're really, really good.
Right. It was. I look at the Reds. The Reds don't have a guy batted over 260. And yesterday there was an ace in the second pitch. The guy hit it 570 feet or something. So that's the end of them. What's his name? Hunter what?
Hunter Green. Yeah.
Sounds familiar. All right. I looked up and I said, wait a minute. Anyway, Lobo football, as you said, dominated the second half against a lesser Aggie team. I mean, Lobos, Vegas had them as a 2-touchdown or more favorite. Lobos, if you're a gambler, I've heard that means the Lobos covered the spread. Lobos are baby underdogs, 1.5, 2 points, something like that. Out in San Jose, that'll be a different animal, right? Friday night, they're having a 1-3 start. Not negligible crowd.
Yeah, modest crowd for sure. And yeah, I mean, I think the last line I saw was 2.5. It's basically a pick'em game, right? If they're on a neutral field, that's what the bookies are saying anyway. And it's really hard to win on the road. And they have a dynamic offense with a good quarterback.
Good quarterback.
Yeah, and
good quarterback.
The Lobos are going to have to mind their P's and Q's. There is no guaranteed dub in the Mountain West, even if you think that the Mountain West might be down just a little bit, and I'm not so sure, but some are saying that. it doesn't matter. You have to be on point.
Right. Well, I don't think the Mountain West had that big upset in the non-con. I don't think. And hey, one of the closest P4 games was in Michigan with the Lobos. So there wasn't the Boise going and rattling a cage somewhere, or Utah State going down to Vanderbilt. And so I think
So UCLA's so bad you're not counting the Lobo win at the Rose Bowl?
No. Hey, UCLA fan told me today they will be the underdog in every game the rest of the year. I don't think it'll happen, but they are looking at a donut season, which is mind-boggling for UCLA and being in the Big Ten. But no, I don't think the Mountain West is as down as everyone thinks. Despite ups comes tight ones, UNLV's undefeated. Boise's Boise. So those are going to be those are tough places to play. But like you said, on the road, first conference game, real good quarterback, pretty good offense, so when you say mind your P's and Q's, what do you think that means?
That means that the Lobos cannot play poorly and expect to come out of there with a win. In other words, I'm not sure against a team like San Jose State, if you start slowly, get down, that necessarily you can expect to come back in the second half and beat them on the road.
Oh, no doubt about it. You can't play one half. The Lobos cannot play one half. So we saw the return of Scottree Humphrey for a little bit. And then there was some sort of issue. And then he came back when it was ball control time. He's clearly the great running backs. We saw what happened when he was out. He's got to be the guy, no?
So Scottree is the guy that can work through contact the best. He might not have the best sort of game-breaking type speed in that backfield. There are so many good backs that, yes, you want Scottree to be the lead guy, but with Damon Bankston and Day Buchanan and DJ McKinney, there's enough to go around. And you saw, Scottree put one on the ground. They went another direction for a little while, brought him back, like you said, at the end of the game. But there are enough weapons in there that it doesn't have to be one guy.
No doubt about it. Doesn't have to be one guy. I just like, as you said, those three backups, or I don't even know if you want to call them backups because it's a rotation. The 2, 3, and 4 guys, none of them are going to get you when you need it that 1 yard up the middle. I don't feel that. We saw that against, was it Idaho State? We went for the 4th down in the first half and didn't make it. I like Humphrey because, he might not have the same speed, but he has speed to break through the line and take it to the end zone. And I just think you can control the ball with a passing attack on the road against this team like San Jose. You can't turn the ball over. You can't get down big. So coming into the game early, and the running game is going to establish what seems to be a growing passing game.
No question about it. I do want to throw one thing in there. Despite not looking as big as Scottree Humphrey, DJ McKinney, among the other 3 running between the tackles, is a beast.
He is.
He plays big.
He is.
He's super strong. Okay, yes, I thought that the nature of the pass game, it was so dynamic against New Mexico State. The game changer, and this is interesting, talking with Keegan Johnson about this earlier in the week, that was the first game where you had Dorian Thomas, power forward transfer, Keegan Johnson, power forward transfer, Sean Miller, power forward transfer, all lining up together on the field at the same time. That's a lot to deal with if you're a defense. And it was a breakout game for Miller. It was a career high in receiving yards for Johnson, and Thomas did his thing again. And there was more for Thomas, I think, this week because those other 2 guys were out there. I think having Johnson on the outside opens everything up. The passing game is going to be a threat. It's not just a run-first team and throw it 18 or 20 times. You saw what happened. New Mexico State sold out to stop the run, and the Lobos just went nuts. 300-yard pass game for Jack.
I've got to be. I love Jack. Leader. He reminds me of the throwback to Billy Kilmer's. I'm dating myself. Guys who may not have the greatest arm, and I questioned his arm strength. And then all of a sudden, boom, Sean Miller, he's throwing deep, long pass on the sideline, almost for another long touchdown. So he's getting better every game. The team is 100% sold in on him. And like you said, we get those three guys out there, running game. Oh, now it's San Jose State, it's not going to even be a problem. Anyway, we'll be back to talk a little bit more about Lobo football and basketball's coming up. Stay with us. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
All right, everybody, we're back. We've got 7 minutes of incredible talk television right now with Rob Portnoy. We were just talking off camera about Lobo football and the difference, and somehow I thought I was saying Big 12. I said Big 8, and if anyone knows what that is, give me a call on my cell phone if you can name the teams in the Big 8. Like the Pac 8. When I started, it was the Pac 8.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So we talked about Lobo offense being dynamic and actually developing into a real mix, which is going to be tough to defend. The Lobo defense, we saw a pass rush that we hadn't seen before. Now, that's against New Mexico State, who could not run the ball. So it was tee-off time. What do you think's what are we going to see against San Jose?
Well, it's not going to be 9 sacks.
Right.
I mean, 9 sacks equal to program record. That's the 6th time that's happened in Lobo history, as many as 9 sacks in a game. So, going into the game, the staff thought that the Lobo front might be able to get some work done against that O-line. They did that and more. And the most interesting part of it is that they pretty much got it done with their front 7. Like, they didn't do anything special in terms of an exotic blitz package or anything like that. They got home with their front. And those guys are really good. And Keyshawn James Newby has shown to be a force. And if he plays like that, they're going to force teams to pay some extra attention to him because he was impossible to block coming around the corner.
Right. Well, I just get the feeling that if they have to pay attention to him, you may see even more aggressive pass rush from the next group, the linebacker group. You may see they've blitzed on occasion, not often, but I think once the blitz is never as effective if your line can handle the front rush as it is. It's easy to pick up the blitzer. If you're worried about him coming on the end or someone coming up the middle, the blitz becomes more effective. So I think we'll see that. But now we've got a top-notch quarterback, good wide receivers. To me, not so much against New Mexico State, and they threw the ball a lot, but in the past, we've been a little, maybe we play a little off the ball. We've been a little weak on those short passes that turn into 8-yard passes. What do the Lobos need to do there?
2 things I think that are different about this New Mexico Lobo defense from the past couple of seasons when it's been historically bad. The back line is better. Like, think about the past couple of years when the Lobos have had prolific offense, historically good offense for 2 seasons. And the Lobos are playing games, 42-34. It's the back line. This year, you're not seeing balls over the top with guys running free in the defensive secondary for big play touchdowns like we've seen over the last couple of seasons. It's different. Yes, they gave up the trick play touchdown. There was a mistake in coverage. There's a freshman back there. He's a terrific player. He's super smart. I guarantee it won't happen again like that. I just think that's the change. Like, you can do what you're doing up front, and you might be able to do some more things in terms of blitzing from the second level because you're more confident about those 5 guys at the back. And I said this before the season started, Kurt, that yes, there are a bunch of new guys back there, but it's not fresh, young players that need experience. It's new players who are coming up from FCS mostly, who have been starters, who have massive numbers of snaps, repetitions behind them. They're experienced new players, and they're playing well.
Yeah, well, we talked about that preseason. I've talked about that a couple of 3 times with Sean from the Journal, how that whole approach of recruiting has been an eye-opener. Like, I've got dudes who have played at this level and played well. Let's give them a chance, and so far it's working. All right. Are you allowed to give a prediction?
I'm not going to.
I didn't ask that question. You are allowed, but you're not going to. You answered the next question. The first question, are you allowed? The answer is yes.
Lobos come home 4-1.
Okay, there you go. For all of those who missed the opportunity, if he's correct, and I think he is, you could have bet on the Lobos to win more than 3.5 games. That would happen on Friday night. All right, we got a couple minutes. Lobo Hal, Saturday. We sat in practice, and we got it right there. A bunch of new kids on the block. I mean, this is a whole new team. It's a great chance for you to get out to the pit. It's free. Parking is free. 505 might have a little bit of a table up there, buy some autographs, basketballs, and some gear and whatnot. But it's an open house, basically. 6 o'clock, gates open. 7 o'clock, we've got 3-point contest, skills test, dunk contest. Both men and, well, I don't think the women are going to dunk it, but they're going to do skills. You get a little introduction. Rob, you were at practice with me this week. You've been there a couple of times. I know football's been paramount. I've seen 25 practices, maybe more, since June. I love this team. The kids are great. Early thoughts.
I'll tell you what stands out to me. Everybody right now is on the exact same plane. There is no returning guy or a returning group of guys who kind of think that their role is set. What I see is absolute intensity. Whenever they're going 4-on-4 or 5-on-5, everybody is playing for minutes right now. I mean, I think that this month of practice, this run up to the start of the season, is going to be really, really fascinating because no role has been given out yet, and they all want it badly.
Well, we also talked off the record at practice about an esteemed old coach talking about the Lobos don't have a true point guard, and I think that kind of came up in essence in the press conference yesterday with Coach Olin. Doesn't matter.
No.
It's a whole different game. It's a whole different approach. And I agree. I've been trying to get everyone to tell me who they think the starters are. And the deeper we go in, the competition's so good, I don't know who the starters are going to be. I'll give you my guess, but I could be wrong on 3 of the 5. Anyway, time's up. Big game. We're headed out to San Jose.
Can't wait.
We'll see you tomorrow afternoon, and everybody go Lobos. 505sports.org. Help us out. Keep this bus rolling. We'll see you next week. Cool.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention.